So hi, well, the Good Noise Podcast. I'm Shane,
I'm Glory.
and we're here with.
America Part 2.
I'm Freddie Rainville,
I am Alex Fabio, and we are
America Part 2.
There you go.
And we're gonna ask them some questions to say about their upcoming EP, AP2-niverse. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you guys feel about the response to the announcement so far?
great. It was really good. I just want to clarify also that Sam, our drummer, is not here. He's also in America Part 2. But yeah, the response has been awesome.
Yeah,
Sam's on tour with Motionless in White right now, motherfucker.
Come on.
This is true.
Mhm. So is there any meaning behind the EP name or cover art?
Good question. I
Thank
mean,
you.
I think it's funny because we started, and I think Shane has the original SoundCloud link. It was called AP2 World at first.
I was just gonna say.
We wanted to kind of create this, I guess, like world. Fred said this to me earlier, like a couple weeks ago. He said world building, and I really like that. And we ended up started with AP2 World, but we didn't quite like it because it felt like it had been done before, and it was kind of like, I don't know. There's all kinds of iterations of that, but we ended up kind of growing it to AP2-niverse somehow, and it really clicked with us.
Yeah, I think I think world, universe, that sort of thing with bands and art and like different projects. Like it's just like it's been done a bunch of different times, and I love the whole concept behind Luniverse. I don't know if y'all are aware of the K-pop group Luna.
Oh,
But-
yeah.
But that was kind of like an inspiration because their whole fandom is like Luniverse, and they go so deep, and there's so much like respect like I have for that, because it's just like the art is just amazing that they make, and I think just to give some of them credit, it's just like our little spin on it. We're doing like this release of a couple songs, and we really felt like we were branching into some like sort of like cosmic cowboy-esque, some crazy sounds, and yeah, we're just going for it visually too. So
Hell yeah. It's all
Awesome.
coming together. And it was like one day I was like, Alex, what's the name of the EP? I gotta make this SoundCloud. And he's like, it's AP2 World. And then one day you come into the office and you're like, so we got this cover art. Oh, and by the way, the EP is AP2-niverse. And I'm like, well, you didn't let anyone know about the name change over here.
It seems that we're notorious for not communicating all of our ideas when they come.
That's okay.
I don't know about that. I feel like it's more like we will settle on something, and then it will be like literally like 2 hours before releasing something, and we're like, and everything changes. Like for us, like people don't know, like we are like chaotic good with that stuff. Like it just like we have this last minute epiphany sometimes.
Yeah.
We're like, no, we have to go the complete opposite way for
Yeah.
the integrity of the group.
Right. There's
You know?
always some kind of like great moral dilemma that arises at the very last second. I mean, I think the You Are All video is a good example of that, because Fred made like the basis of the video, and it was really beautiful. And we were like, maybe we should like put lyrics on it. Be cool. And I literally pulled an all-nighter, did not sleep, and made the text for it.
Mhm.
And then we put it out that morning. So
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Badass.
Shane, I'm praying for you, Shane. Good
Listen,
luck.
I texted Alex last night at midnight. I was like, I'm gonna get on top of this shit. They have a song coming out this week. I was like, Alex, when you've got the assets, send them to me. If anything changes, let me know. I'm like, sorry for
Yeah.
texting you at midnight, but that's what I was thinking about it.
I was up.
Also, I feel like everything in our camp has kind of been thrown through a whole 180 with like, post like not being on the label anymore, and then dropping the past two songs. Like we've just been like, we found out we weren't going to be on the label anymore, and the next day we dropped a new song, and it just it's been crazy ever since. So I think we're just kind of like rolling,
Just finding
like
from the
some
hit.
days it's slow, some days it's just like going
Mhm.
crazy. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for this EP?
Oh my.
Wow.
Yeah, so we well, I think when we put out Price of a Nation, our first LP, we had been writing those songs and slowly dripping singles, and we re-recorded Split and stuff, which was one of the first singles that we ever put out. That was like a 3+ year process, and the record was done and we were ready to put it out around 2020, summer 2020. And then we just ended up waiting a full, year and we still had to like finish a lot of things. And it ended up like really taking its time, and we, everything really like ended up working out the way it should. But over that process, like we had been writing so much music, and we took basically the best, like, I don't know, like 16 to 20 songs that we felt, and then whittled it down to 14. And we went to a barn in Monticello, New York called Yonder Barn, which was built specifically in I think 99 for Ryuichi Sakamoto. He's done a lot of compositions. I'm pretty sure he's won like Grammys and stuff. And he did The Revenant, all the music for The Revenant. Yeah. Wow. But it's this beautiful barn that we found on Airbnb, just totally separate with like very blurry digital camera, like just blurry pictures. And we were like, this is going to be either a gem or this is going to be crazy. And we ended up staying there for 20+ days and recorded all the songs with our friend Doug Gallo and some friends, and did a music video and stuff. And that was like, we did all these songs, and we dripped out a single, and then we just took like literally like the best out of that, which we felt were like 5 songs. And there's some stuff here and there that like we still are working on from those sessions, but basically we took like the 5 songs, right?
Yeah. It was interesting because we booked the place just as an Airbnb at first, because we actually booked it months in advance in the summer, because it was summer 2020, right? Yeah. So it was like we were super locked down and everything. So we were like, we need to get out. Usually touring is our reprieve from just like, home life. So we were like, we need to get out and just like hang with each other because we're best friends. And so we were like, all right, let's do it. And we booked this place just to stay at. Right. Yeah. And then we were like, all right, maybe we can like demo or whatever. And we had these songs, and we were like, maybe we should make an album. So we had all these songs, like Fred said, like 16 to 20 songs. And we get there. And when we got there, we looked around and we were like, wow, this is like really good sound quality, really good muting. And we go upstairs, and there was this like emperor booth looking down on like what turned out to be a live room. And we're like, wait a minute, what is this place? And we looked it up, and it turned out the history that Fred said. It was built as a studio, and who was it? Dream Theater recorded their latest album there when we had gone there. That's cool. So we were like, wow, we just ended up here. So it was the 3 of us for about 8 days, and we just like ate every meal together, did yoga together, and just like vibed out and practiced every day. And then like Fred said, Doug Gallo came with an assistant Mike, and then Kelly. And we recorded all the songs that we had at that point and whittled it down.
Nice.
And then we also shot on the Revival Recordings YouTube page. We put out a music video, and we tracked it live, so it's live audio, and we shot a music video in the barn. So we actually got to like encapsulate it. I don't know if you got that one, but that's like one of my favorite things we've ever done. And the fact that we used the live audio for it was great too.
Yeah, it was influenced a lot by Black Sabbath, because they had done like a live music video for Paranoid in the 70s, and like
they did it for like a couple songs too.
Oh, cool. Yeah. That was the specific one that I saw that I was like, that would be cool. And I was talking to Ben Lieber about it, and I was like, we should, because the label at that time wanted us to re-release I Don't Wanna, which we had already put out. And we were like, well, if we're gonna do that, we want to put a new spin on it. So that was our way of putting out a music video for it that wasn't just using the recorded audio again, so we could at least have a live take on it.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. And then State Champs saw that, and they were like, wow, that was really cool. Over Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was cool. Thanks, State Champs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thanks for the hook.
Yeah, thanks, Shane.
So I just have a quick question. So aside from the couple tracks that actually made it to the EP, you said that you're still working on bits and pieces of other tracks that you guys did write. What is the reason behind your thought process with, I'm just going to put out the EP now instead of waiting for those couple tracks that you're working on to make it like a full album? Were you just so excited to put the music out, which I completely get, because that must be awesome.
We get really ahead of ourselves. Well, actually, I should say that we've been very ahead of ourselves in the past, where like we had our debut record like ready to go, and it hadn't come out, and we were like already recording LP2, and technically like that was in our minds, and that was the goal, was a second LP. But as time kind of tells, we were like, we're not really in a position for a second LP, just as like the nature of the band, like this kind of like these 5 songs definitely we feel are probably like some of the strongest ones out of them, but also like some of the other ones like are just so standalone, just like so awesome. Like we have the song Steve Shack, and we have a lot of different ones, like
End of the World is a good one.
Yeah, we've recorded that one a couple times.
The thing is these 5 just went together as like a thing. Like there was definitely a thing that was there with those 5 songs, and we didn't anticipate that at all. But like Fred said, like putting out an album is such a huge thing. Like to support an album, you need a lot of like not only resources, but also like material to promote it with. And we didn't know where touring was either, and that's a huge way to support an album. So like we knew that also there was a potential we could be independent at this time, like as it started leading up to releasing new music. So we thought the best way to benefit ourselves is just to put all our eggs in this basket of 5 songs and just give that out first. And try to kind of re-find our footing for where we're going to be by the time the next LP comes. And I think so far it's been good, because again, now we are independent. And so it's all on us and Shane and Matt. And so like, and Fata Booking. So I think now it's a little more focused with those 5 songs.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you for breaking that down for me.
Okay.
So I want you to tell us your favorite lyric singular off this EP and the meaning behind it.
Cool.
You first, please.
Oh, I'm the worst one to start with because I always forget the lyrics.
Well, Alex, I think you should go first because you're the vocalist of the band.
Well, technically, Fred is the vocalist as well.
Okay, fair enough.
Fred, I have a little help for you. I actually have the cutout lyrics from the music video right here.
There you go.
See, what a lot of people don't realize is that these are typed on a typewriter and then T-dyed like in middle school,
Oh, nice.
and then cut out and then superimposed digitally onto the video. So I have the lyrics actually all here if you want to see the
This is one of my favorites.
Oh, that's a banger. Yeah.
Honestly though, we got to say that we've been calling this song Just Splatter for maybe like as long as we've known it, and we did one of those things like the week of, we were like so the song's going to be called You Are All, right? We kind of like mentioned it once in band practice. We're like, yeah, that's a cool idea. It sounds right because it's a lyric in the song.
Yeah,
it's also like I think like one of our like most positive messages. So yeah, and it's simple, but I really like Feel the Break because one, I kind of like lead that song definitely in the beginning, but I like all the references like with the world closing, like there's one of the lyrics, it's cut your eyes, keep them closed. And then the second verse, it talks about
cut your mouth,
and cutting the world, keeping the world closed. So a lot has to do with COVID and stuff like that, and like feeling this like break in our society. That's like what I really feel from it. But I really just like the very choice words. Like we kind of just like say a little bit, but we mean what we say in those couple words, you know?
Yeah, I think this EP definitely has my favorite lyrics that we've had so far. As far as like, because we all write too is another thing. Like Fred and I both wrote a lot of lyrics on this, and I think the major difference vocally on this record compared to the last one is that Fred's singing more and I'm screaming more, I think, generally. So I think that's a cool like new thing that we're doing. But as far as favorite lyrics from You Are All, I think this is my favorite line right here. It's, I've been eating shit. It tastes like politics.
Nice.
I like that one. And then in another song, it's called Horse 2.
I knew it.
It's going to be coming out. That I would say that's probably my favorite poem. So I don't really know if I could pick a line, but when it comes out, definitely listen to Horse 2.
That's a song.
All right. So where was your headspace at while you guys were writing the CP?
CKY.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of CKY. We were watching a lot of Jackass and Blues Brothers.
I think you should leave.
Yeah, we kind of went on like a weird nostalgia kick with like Skate and like Tony Hawk Underground 2, and like listening to those soundtracks, and like we were like listening to a lot of like stuff, like listen to like Avenged Sevenfold.
Yeah.
Just a lot of stuff. But like,
yeah, I remember there was one vocal take. It was in a song that was recorded that's not on the EP, but I remember I sang this line in a way that I hadn't quite sung before, and they stopped it and they were like, "Yo, M Shadows over here."
Yeah, we were really pushing a lot of different types of tones, especially vocally. Like I love pushing vocal tones, but I think we were kind of trying to get back to like what we loved in like these bands and like this like culture of like skate and rock, and like what it was like when we were growing up. Like I remember very specifically like being like 8, 9, 10 years old and like going to the Monmouth Mall down the street, and they have the Zoomies Couch Tour, and like Hawthorne Heights and Bayside played, and my cousin like skated in the competition, and he was like 15 or something, and and like at the time, like he was like a prodigy skater, you know, for like these kids, and like all these kids like around the area were great. So like there was always like this really cool thing happening, and I think even Sam, like, you know, connecting with Sam a lot, like the whole skate culture and like the CKY movies, the Jackass movies, but also the CKY music and like that first record and all I don't know, we were listening to a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and like I think the core for me was kind of what Fred said as well, like kind of going back to what we love about music and why we love music. Like we wanted to make music that like maybe for this time around like is just I don't know, maybe more like fun to listen to, like I don't know, like there's a lot more that you can dance to, I feel like, on this record, and like bang your head really hard. And like lyrically, I think it's pretty fun. Like a lot of the topics are like pretty heavy, but I think there's always an air of like lightness to what exactly is being said. And if it is really heavy, we kind of like make it lighter in how it's being said, I suppose.
A little bit of tongue in cheek in our songs.
Yeah.
Like we're saying something, but it's not really we're believing it. Like I think the one of my favorite songs on the record, The Same, the lyric is, "We're not the same. We're not this," you know?
Yeah.
And I don't think any of us believe that. I think we kind of believe that we're all the same. And I was thinking on it really hard the other day, and it's like, it's really funny. We write things, and I don't know how it is really I can only speak for myself, but a lot of times when you write things and it comes out, and say like you're writing on a riff and maybe like the melodies come where the lyrics, most of the time, you know, afterwards what you're actually trying to say. It's like, you're just like, ugh, and it just kind of like, it's like just is ripping out of you sometimes. And the Same's kind of like that, because The Same is like, talks about alienation and being like let me be away, let me grow, that sort of thing. We're not the same. I'm not like you. But in reality, like it, like we don't really believe that at all. It's almost like the complete opposite, you know.
But it's a feeling, right? It's a feeling.
It's tongue in cheek.
It's like it's it's definitely a feeling that I know we've all felt too at the same time, though, because it's like if you're say, for example, right now we're in my mom's house, right? So like at times, like if you're in the same place that you grew up in forever, like you want to get out and fucking tattoo yourself and color your hair and go fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Because you have to, like, you have to, it's part of growing. And I think like, even though like overall, we don't like believe like that we're all fucking different. We're all way similar. We're the same DNA, but like, yeah, I agree with that. But anyway, going back to the sonics, I think like recording wise, like sound wise, Doug was a great engineer for this, and great like co-imaginer of like what it would all be, because it also has a little bit more, I think, maybe like space and depth than Price of a Nation. And like some of the tones are like a little bit nodding to the stuff we listened to when we were teenagers too. So I think that's cool.
Also, I do want to say huge props to Doug, because I would say that we might be like a little bit of like a different type of band to work with, because we like to track live. We like tracking like the basics of like the guitar, bass, drums live, with in mind keeping that the drums are the only thing that matters to come out of that. So if like bass and guitar is kind of fucked up, like as long as we got the drum track, because we don't track with a metronome. I don't think we did at all on this record. So it's up to Sam. And then, I think Doug ended up tracking it according to Sam, which is crazy, like doing separate metronome parts throughout the whole record.
That's cool.
But Doug really let us do like our thing while also like pushing this very like earthy, like we just wanted to get like a very raw and like, just like a warm feeling.
Yeah, I think one thing that we are bringing to the table with this is the combination of that old school live tracking where you would hear it in records like 90s and before, but with a lot of sounds that are more modern. I think it's a cool blend.
And we like to overdub like a lot. Like we do a lot with harmonies, and we're all singing.
This is on it.
Sam singing, Sam screaming. We're all doing wild stuff, pianos, there's all like a bunch of blended stuff. So like we like to get like the 3-piece, and then we like layer on top of it, and that's really like I think where we're kind of at our best.
Makes sense.
Sick. That's good. That's cool. That's cool. So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this EP for the first time? Should they play it in the car with friends, dark with headphones on? Should they blast at a party? What do you guys personally recommend?
The headphones by yourself, and also like blasting in the car with a friend is probably, I think, the best. Like blasting in the car with your friend would be awesome. I don't know about like if you wanted to blast some of the singles at a party, like in order. I'm only saying it because Splatter, there's like the first track, or
it's like a 1-minute intro.
It's like a 30-second intro.
Yeah.
But if it builds, definitely builds.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, I love blasting it in the car. Like it's like my favorite thing is just to crank it. It's definitely like going to be like a blasting in the car while you're driving in the summer. Like,
I think too, like if you want to kind of split the difference with those, one thing that we used to do as tradition is like just like go smoke a joint and then like come back and like turn off all the lights and like put on a record. The first time we would listen to a record that from a band that we like, and we would just like turn off the lights, maybe have like a candle or something, and just like lay on the floor or sit or something and just take it in. Like that would be cool too.
That's how we would do it.
Okay. All right.
Is that how you listen to this EP for the first time?
I don't know if
I have no idea, to be honest.
For the first time?
Well, I think when we got the final back, no, I don't think so.
Remember, but okay, I do remember this.
Okay.
Because Alex and Sam, they like I could, if I'm in a recording session, I could go like months without hearing it again. Like if it was just like the next going into, Sam specifically loves to get that bounce right after the session. He's like, yo, send me what we just did.
Yeah.
And both of them are up on that, which is good. That's a good thing to do. Like, for me, I kind of like need space a little bit because that's just like kind of how I like to listen to it. But I remember going to band practice and you were like, yo, it sounds so great. I was like, oh, I haven't heard it yet. Like I didn't like when we got the official thing and we blasted it in your car.
Oh yeah, on the way home, right?
I think on the way home. Oh, either on the way to Sam's or on the way home. And it was like just literally full blast in Alex's car, which is very heavy bass. So
I have one of those. I have a Toyota and it has one of those like Bluetooth things that I've like added on that I put into the cigarette lighter. So like those are like always just have ridiculous bass on them. So.
Yeah, but that was awesome. Like just taking it in.
Yeah.
All right. Sick. So this question should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe this out. EP for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less. Both you have to do it.
Cyborg, cowboy, experimental core.
Okay.
That's a lot to take in.
I'm gonna go space horse mayhem.
Space
Okay.
Horse. Yeah, that's
Really,
accurate.
really selling this EP to the
You are.
to the general public.
Yeah.
It's what they need.
Horse is a great genre. Horse the band.
Horse is the best genre.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Fred Dig Gallops.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want this EP to invoke in your listeners?
Nah.
It's got tons of ranges of emotions. Like, you know, whatever it makes you feel. Like it we love the music that we make, you know, and we love listening to our music. And I think, like, especially like when we put out Splatter like a week or two ago, I've heard that song so many times, but it gets dropped into the world.
Totally different.
It's totally different. It's just like, I'm like, oh wow, this is like hearing it for the first time, because sonically it sounds different because it's just like in the public perception.
Mhm.
So like I think we're trying to just like speak our truths and talk about our experiences, and hope people relate. And if you don't, that's cool too.
Thanks for giving us a real answer,
Yeah.
Freddie. Fuck you, Alex.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
So what is your favorite memory that you guys made while creating this EP?
Honestly, the whole barn thing in
So
itself was
good.
amazing. Like,
Yeah.
what a great experience. I mean, we lived there for just about a month, and we really became like metal monks while we were there. It was a good time.
It comes through on the EP too.
I like
What's that?
It comes through on the EP too. Like it's definitely
Oh, cool.
a way heavier vibe. Like,
For sure.
Like when I
Oh, yeah.
heard, I think it was Splatter when Matt played me the demo. I was like, they're channeling a little bit of Lorna Shore on here. I can tell.
Lorna Shore.
that's great. Let's go.
Shout out Lorna Shore on top of the world right now.
So true.
Mhm.
Ah.
I'm sure.
It's so funny. I love, like, I think life is so funny because you kind of associate like all these crazy good memories. Like I feel like the ones on tour and stuff like that and stuff, like it's always like these weird or like not really too crazy things. Like we went to this market like every single morning to get coffee.
Mhm.
And it was like this Italian bakery in Monticello. And also like there's like a racetrack in town, which is so weird because we grew up in Oceanport and there's the Monmouth racetrack, and there it's not just like everywhere that you go that there's like a horse racetrack. You know, we grew up like
Yeah.
2 feet away from one, and then we just go 3.5 hours away from home, and just like is the main attraction of the town. And my dad was like, "Oh, I think I was there when I was a kid," and so it was like kind of like this weird thing that we were like living in this town, and my van, it was so cold that twice my acceleration stuck. And so my van's just like, we're going. And I'm like hitting the brakes and it's not stopping. And I had to like hit the brake, hit the acceleration, hit the brake again for it to like come out of gear. And so there's like a little bit of trauma attached to the experience too, because that's just, you know, life. But I mean, we've also been on crazy tours, so vans and bad experiences like that. So
Yeah,
that was very minor. We almost drove into the Airbnb person's house though, which was not good.
not good.
Yeah, that
Because
would've been good.
because
we
the
were-
acceleration was stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember
Okay.
I really enjoyed one day. So I'm half Greek and I have a lot of Greek family.
Oh
And
my
so like I'm quite familiar with Greek culture and Greek American accents. So there was a Greek place nearby. I think it was Christos.
Yeah.
And so like we were like, let's get some Greek food. So like I got put in charge of ordering the Greek food, and I like ordered it in like a old man Greek accent, and like
beautiful.
and it was like great. It was great. And yeah, it was we picked up the food and then came back to the barn and just like filled a table with food, like just
Aw.
filled it,
Badass.
and just
Yeah.
like turned off the lights and just watched Blues Brothers.
Which is like 3 hours long if no one
Oh.
knows. And it's also such a great movie. If it's been a minute, if y'all have seen it, if you've never seen it, that's cool too. It's such a trip. It's insane. People, they don't make movies like that anymore. So
All right.
Those are all good memories, except for you guys almost dying. But
Yeah.
sounds good though. So sounds good.
It can happen any day.
it comes with the other. So
True.
one.
Yeah.
comes with-
True.
Oh, word.
Right.
Jeez.
Oh, no.
Stuff is falling.
Oh no. So for this question, I want you to picture you're on tour. You're at a gas station for a rest stop. You're going in. What is your snack of choice?
Nuts.
What type?
Usually they only have peanuts. But if they have cheap almonds, which is never the case, those.
No.
Mm.
Okay, cool. That's a good choice.
Yeah, I don't know like what my go-to is. I feel like I'm like wild. I'm always switching it up, but I'm trying to think. I feel like I'm always trying to save like some extra food from like the last spot that we ate because I'm like not trying to eat like snacks and candy and stuff like that. But I don't know, what would be like a go-to? I mean, I literally on the way here. So I mean, there you go. Well, actually, my go-to for real, if I see them, which is very rare, if it's outside of a movie theater, is the Bunch of Crunch, not Crunch Bar. Like, because I tried a Crunch Bar the other day for like the first time in like a couple years.
First time? Oh, a couple.
Yeah, a couple years. It was not good. But like the Bunch of Crunch is great. It's like the little chocolate, and you just eat it at the
Little clusters.
Yeah. So I'll grab some of that. I'm like a savory guy. I'm not a sweets.
Fair enough.
Yeah, get that.
So on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
Like a vegetarian bowl.
Yeah, we'd be like, have you ever been to a place and they have like a Buddha bowl?
I have not.
I think
They would be that. It's like usually like a grain, like a quinoa or a rice or something. Beans.
And then we usually ask, wait, how much is it for all the sides? And they're like, oh, it's all the same price for every side. So we're like, wait,
everything.
We can get everything. So yeah, we usually ask for everything.
There'll be like greens, mushrooms, onions,
protein,
any kind of protein.
Yeah, we got food drunk, like literally drunk in Columbus, Ohio at Brassica.
Oh,
and
if you're in Columbus right now, go to Brassica right now.
Yeah, I think it's on High Street.
You will become unbelievably intoxicated while eating.
Like we were crying. We were crying and laughing, and it was like literally it was one of the best meals of my life. I'm not
from
even
the
kidding.
food.
Yeah, from the food. Yeah,
From the food.
It was very. You could tell it was very home style recipe.
That's something that people underestimate.
Mediterranean.
Who makes your food is very important, which is why all the packaged shit is not as good, because like if someone's making something with a little bit of love, it goes such a long way.
So I guess you guys are going to go back to this restaurant when you're on tour.
Oh, 100%. We went 2 days in a row.
I'm almost intimidated to go back.
I think on at least on the brick and mortar tour, you guys have like an off day in Ohio where you could do like 2 days in Columbus. I think
it's gonna be.
I'm not entirely sure what the routing is like, but I think you're able to go to the restaurant 2 days if you'd like.
Thank you, Shane, for enlightening me about this.
They froze. Okay, you're back. All right. So for these last couple of questions, we're actually going to shift away from music, if that's okay with you guys.
Sure.
Cool. So if you could be one animal for the rest of your life, which animal would you be and why?
See, it's a tough question because, like, there's a couple, If I could be a wild stallion.
Okay.
On the beach somewhere, that'd be great. Or maybe like I always said, I would love to be a bald eagle just to see that view, get that view. But the third tops all, but some people don't believe. But being a dragon would be amazing. I mean, like Eastern dragon, water dragons.
Dragons.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I would like to think that the Earth's nature operates something like Pokemon, where I can start as a cat, right?
Mhm.
And I can evolve into a lion.
Okay.
So that's who I would be.
Okay.
That really is him.
I
He's
actually
a
have
Leo.
the mug
He's a Leo.
also with
Nice.
a kitten in the inside and a lion on the outside.
This guy is.
That's who I would
That's
be.
badass.
Okay.
That's badass.
That's pretty cool. I like.
Right
I like
now, I'm
the
like in the Charmeleon phase.
Okay. All right. I just checked the routing for the brick and mortar tour. You guys are in Cleveland, and then you guys have an off day, and then you're in Columbus. But Cleveland and Columbus are only 2 hours away.
Oh, we're driving overnight.
Oh yeah, we'll be there.
Road trip.
We'll be there the day before. Oh my gosh! Wow. And you know what's even crazy? We're playing Mahals, however you may say it. It's made its motto.
My hail.
Dude, I am so excited to play Mahals.
I heard it's a bowling alley.
Yes,
Is that right?
But the live room is like Nirvana when they played on TV for the first time, and like the floor was like all trippy.
Yeah.
It's literally like that. That room's like wacky.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's really cool. Yeah, I played in there with Have Mercy.
A
That
lot
was
of
awesome.
venues that we're playing over the next couple months, I've like always wanted to play. So that's very exciting.
Oh yeah, we're playing Blueberry Hill, which is Chuck Berry's venue too.
Really?
Yeah, we're playing Basement. Yeah, and I played that one. Yeah, I played that one at HM too.
Oh, that's
So yeah,
cool.
I saw that today. I was like, because there's so much sometimes that like
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
passes you, and I'm like rereading. I'm like, oh yeah. I was like, oh, Blueberry Hill. Like they're crazy in there. They have like something like 1,000 wooden ducks just lining the ceiling. Like it's like the most wild.
That's
place.
why
They
it's
have a-
duck room.
they literally
Makes
have, like, a
sense.
stuffed lion. Yeah, it's pretty
Oh.
Makes sense.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shay from North Carolina said we're gonna really love Cat's Cradle too.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah. And Johnny Brenda's. I went and saw King Buffalo there, and I was like, this venue is beautiful.
Johnny
And
Brenda's
that
gonna
was
be
fun.
sick. Yeah.
Who's that?
Philly.
Oh, cool.
Johnny Brenda's. It's
Oh,
beautiful.
okay. Yeah.
It's gonna be sick.
Mhm. I'm
Um,
excited for you guys.
So
Yo, thanks.
back to the questions. If you could have lunch with any celebrity or artist, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Wait, what was it? If I could be?
No, if you could have lunch with any celebrity or artist, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
I would say Miles Davis, because right now I'm reading Miles Davis's autobiography, and that is a cold motherfucker. And I would like to get a couple shreds of that cheese wheel on my shit.
All right. Okay.
Wow. I'm like, this is like so important,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna say the first one that came to mind was Robert Johnson.
Mm.
Yeah, having a conversation with Robert Johnson, because no one really knows much. It's like they have like the familial contact, like people that grew up with him and knew him, but he like died in like 1938 or 39 or something, and just the impact that man has had on just music is insane. Like all of rock and roll is based in Robert Johnson's licks and all that stuff. And yeah, I would like to say what's up and see what was up back then. I would like to have more of a grasp on like what it was to like be making music and traveling around at that time, because he would hop on literally like the trains and just like ride to a city, just like so craziness. Thanks.
Good picks. So for this last question, boom, you're on a desert island. You can bring one movie, one album, and one person. Who and what are you bringing?
I would probably bring Fred as a person.
Okay.
Album, I would probably bring Have a Good Seasons, Shapes I've never seen because it's fucking good.
It's a banger.
And what was it? Book? Movie?
Movie.
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 I'd bring that Beatles movie, Across the Universe, because it would remind me that love is beautiful and life is nuanced.
Good answers.
Wow.
That's very sweet.
Wow. Well, I would have to say the same. I would love to bring your boy over here. I feel bad for Sam, so I gotta say, if they were, I feel like we're all one entity sometimes. So I would have to bring both of them.
Put him in a big suit. They can stand on top of each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
Stack
One
them
on top of each
In a
other.
big jacket.
Yeah. I would bring Off the Bone by the Cramps. That would be my album, because that it's got everything that I love in one record, and it's got all the emotions, like all dark and happy and all the things in one record. And it's like something like 12 14 songs, which is like not crazy, but like when you I don't know, I'm a big fan of the Cramps, so like that record is just like insane to me. I'm just like, wow, they did that, which is crazy. But and then a movie, oh, easy. How did I do I even have to think? Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. Jeez,
all right,
come on.
Okay,
yeah,
there we go.
That'll last you the whole trip.
Oh yeah, till I die. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yep.
So as Glory said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you guys would like to plug?
Oh man, well, thank you guys for having us, because this has been a really awesome interview. We appreciate you listening to us babble. Well, in case you're watching this and you still don't know, we're in a band called America Part 2, and we have an EP coming out called AP2-niverse on May 26th, and we'll be on tour from around that time until the end of July. We're going to do the whole United States, so wherever you are, come on out.
And you can find all those dates and tickets at americapart2.com, all spelled out, or our merch store, Mischief Night, which is also attached to our website. But other than that, we love you guys, and it's always so much fun.
Hell yeah.
It's so nice.
Always a blast chatting with you guys. Well, thank you for sound. That's been America Part 2, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.